How's it going, fam? Welcome back to Erica's EDC, and today we're going to do a test update. We're going to do a look at some new stuff that has come in. We're just going to chat, nothing crazy, nothing professional, but we have some updates. We've been testing the Montana Knife Company Blackfoot 2.0 in MagnaCut. We have also been testing the Spyderco Delica in Micromelt PD1. Essentially crew wear. So I want to talk about these predominantly because they are the test knives, most exciting, but I do have a few other little goodies to show you guys. I'll do a little sneak peek real quick. Beep boop, right? Whoop whoop, beep boop. Okay, let's get into it. So the first video I made in regard to testing this knife, I had initially said that I needed to knock this burr off and start using it, etc., etc. I ended up not knocking the burr off because I wasn't really thinking in the moment, and my little knife brain tells me if a knife arrives with a burr, deburr it and then start using it. Great example, case knives. However, with the price point of this knife being $300, it being a USA made best knife ever, won all the awards thing, I was like, no, let's not knock the burr off. Let's test it as it is, raw, organic out of the package, and see what happens to that burr, because that's how everyone's knife is going to arrive. So I wasn't even thinking when I was like, oh, I'm going to knock the burr off and then start testing it. No, we need to test it as it is. This is how it's going to come to you. Let's see how that holds up. The reason I'm talking about the burr and bringing attention to it right now is because a burr is not an edge. A burr is not an apex, a well done apex that is going to cut for a long time, okay? So I've been saying this for, I don't even know how long, probably since I started the channel, and I've been using this kind of analogy using my fingers. An apex is just a bunch of little tiny microscopic teeth. I know this probably looks silly, but I've been doing this. This is how my father taught me, okay? My father made knives, so this is how I learned about edges. He used to take his hands and tell me that on a microscopic level, the edge of a knife is actually a tiny little saw with a bunch of teeth, right? And we all know when you sharpen a knife and it's done properly, all the teeth kind of line up like that, and it's a little tiny saw, and that's how you cut things, right? However, during sharpening, or when you're creating the edge in general, what happens is before those teeth are straightened out, you tend to have one side that comes up a little heavy, right? The burr. And if you looked under a microscope, it actually, that steel curls over, right? So when you're creating this edge and or sharpening it, the pressure and the abrasive and all of the things up against that thin steel push that one side over, right? And it creates a burr. And what you're supposed to do is essentially shear that burr off during sharpening. Same thing on the other side, shear that burr off, and you are left with a nice, crisp, clean apex of fairly aligned teeth, right? We don't want that burr there because it's curled up and hanging over the side, and though it may feel sharp and toothy, when you use that knife and that burr breaks off, you're not left with a proper apex, right? If those little tiny teeth go running away during use, during impact, during whatever, you're not left with a sharp edge at all because the edge was never there in the first place. You were cutting with a burr. You were cutting with little tiny pieces of steel that were curled up and over, and it made it feel sharp, but once they break off during use because they're so fragile, you're left with nothing. So this came with a burr. It was never deburred. It has two bevels, yes, but it came with a very strong burr on one side. And I showed that during the paper cutting in the video. It just snags and it kind of wants to rip through paper as opposed to cleanly cut. They say they do that all on purpose. So I was like, okay, well, we'll test it. That burr is, it has essentially broken off. The only places that I feel the burr are the portions of the blade that I don't use on a regular basis. A lot of my knife use is the first, I would say, inch and a half of the knife, and occasionally some of the belly, but really I just tend to use, that much probably for most of my tasks. This area right here doesn't see a lot of use just with what I do. So the burr is still there around here. Otherwise, it is essentially gone. We're left with a pretty jagged and not super sharp edge. Of course, logically speaking. Why? Because it was never there to begin with. Is that appropriate for a $300 knife? In my opinion, no. But what are you gonna do, right? So I just wanted to document that because I literally went to go get my ceramic honing rod, and then I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? Like, we're never gonna know how long that burr cuts for if we don't actually do it, you goon. So I am here to report that the burr broke off fairly quickly, and we are left with an edge that, I can run my finger on, and it just feels kind of buttery. It is what it is. We will continue to see how that knife does. Now, on to the creme de la creme of the two, the good stuff. The Seki City Japan Delica. Love what they do over there. You guys know I'm a huge Spyderco fan. This came just absolutely razor sharp. It's still got an insane amount of bite. I definitely have some patina starting on the bevel where there is no coating. Makes sense. This is essentially Carpenter's version of Cruwear. They're very similar. It is acting like Cruwear for the most part. The only thing I will say is if we start to kind of digest Carpenter's Cruwear versus CPM's Cruwear, this actually, from my experience, is less chippy in the Delica model. So what I mean is I had the exclusive CPM Cruwear Delica. It had olive green scales and a black blade. I can't recall whose exclusive it was, maybe DLT, I don't really know. So it was a Seki City Japan Delica, but with CPM Cruwear, okay? Now that Cruwear I tested, I want to say close to 2 years ago, and it was not that great actually. I found it to be super chippy. Now, I think it was in part due to the geometry and the really thin BTE and just thin slicey blade, and I was beating on it. So it ended up chipping out a lot, and that was also the factory edge, okay? I don't believe in steels being chippy. I think it's geometry. But what I'm saying is that Delica, that was identical to this Delica in Cruwear, out of the box, chipped on me. Maybe fatigued edge, maybe geometry, maybe both. This is not doing that, okay? So I have been doing a lot of tasks with this, including cutting things on the countertop or the bed of the truck, whatever. Same tasks I did with the Delica that I tested 2 years ago. And this one, I'm just saying, isn't experiencing the chipping in the edge that the other Cruwear one was. That literally means nothing. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you the Micro Melt PD1 is not having edge deformation and chipping like the Cruwear Delica did. So is this steel for some reason better for this model than the Cruwear one? Maybe, I guess. We'll see. It's just an interesting thing to observe because, like I said, I had the Cruwear Delica, and man, that thing just, like, fell apart on me for some reason. No idea why. Could have been a one-off, could have been a lemon. It's just what happened. So, out of these two, obviously so far more impressed with the performance of this one, but we haven't even gotten into anything with this really because we were working with a burr. I want to get this on the stones at some point. There's not even a point for me in trying to strop this factory edge back because it wasn't really an edge to begin with. I kind of want to just put it on the stones, see what happens. I have some new stones to test anyway, so we'll do that. But out of these two, obviously the Spyderco is performing better thus far, just in terms of literally logical performance, okay? Now, let's talk about this. This is the Heavyset Knife Company 3-inch belt knife prototype. I've shown it a few times on the channel. I guess I will say attempted to sharpen it a few videos back, and I tried using Spyderco ceramic stones. It just didn't touch this S45 VN. I need to do a redo sharpening of this knife with diamonds because it just didn't come up like I wanted it to. However, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit because I need to do the review after I do the sharpening of it with diamonds. But I will say, guys, this is just a really, really cool knife. Now, I can't, how do I say this? I can't tell everyone to go buy a bunch of knives from Heavyset Knife Company. The reason being is it's a brand new company, and I just haven't seen enough of it yet, okay? So I'm not telling you go place 6 orders with Heavyset Knife Company and spend, $2,000 and get a whole bunch of knives. I don't know how long it would take. I don't know if there will be any kinks. I have no idea, right? Because he just started his business. I don't have enough experience yet, right? It's very fresh. So what I am not telling you to do is go blow $2,000 on pre-orders or deposits or anything yet, because we literally just don't know in any business, knives, whatever. You could be starting up a lumberjack business. There will always be kinks in the beginning, right? For anyone. So I'm not saying go drop $2,000. What I am saying is when knives are made available, like in real life available that you can purchase right then and there, I love his work so far, okay? If you are sus about pre-orders or wait lists or deposits or anything, I get it, right? So I'm not going to tell you what to do, but what I'm saying is this physical knife that I have in my hands is one of the best performing knives I've ever used. So beyond comfortable. Whatever John's doing with his heat treat is phenomenal, because this S45, which I have documented previously, doesn't even act like S45. It feels way better. It's performing just nutty compared to production S45 that I've used. I want more knives from him. I think he has something very special starting up. This knife is absolutely phenomenal. I think his work is incredible, and he's really bringing some special stuff to the game here, at least from what I've experienced. I just wanted to put that out there because, I never want to make the mistake of directing people to something that I don't have enough experience with yet, and then it blowing up in my face, I saw that happen to some people that got themselves involved with like Survive Knives, for example, right? They thought it was coming back. They thought it was back on track. They made content. They pushed people over there. Tons of people put in more orders, and Survive is now dead, and nobody ever got their stuff, right? And that was even happening literally last year. I never ever want to be involved in anything like that. I'm not saying that would happen with John. I don't think it will. I'm just using that as an example. Like, all I can do is tell you how well my knife physically did, how it does. It's phenomenal, and I am so proud of him, and I hope that his business just continues to grow from here because he has something so special going for him. I just also have to watch out for myself, and I can make content on Spyderco all day because I know them and I love them and they've been around for decades. But when you have a new maker come to come to the table, they kind of have to fight, you know, they enter the gauntlet of makers that have been here for 5, 10, 15 years, right? And it's cutthroat. It is what it is. You gotta establish yourself. And I think he's doing amazing. I can't wait to see what he does. But like I said, you know, all new businesses can experience some tricky things. So let's hope for the best for John. He really deserves it. God damn. What the beep? This is about as hot as your mom. What is this, you may ask? Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's just the newest version of the Elite Hunter from Baby Moon Blades. Now, this is something pretty dang cool. So Adam over at Baby Moon Blades makes what I would say are more artistic tools. You know, look at this. Do you see a difference? Of course you do. One is production, one is custom. The attention to detail, the materials, the everything on this are way more beautiful than a production knife, right? So, Baby Moon Blades just released their brand new iteration of the Hunter. This one is in a new steel that they're using. It's not new in terms of the knife world, but to them, it's something that they're trying out. CPM 154, 63 HRC, okay? This thing is gorgeous. Is this everyone's realm of knives? No, they're a little pricey. They're handmade, they're custom, they're all done in-house. A lot of the stuff is forged, right? You're paying a pretty penny for those types of things. I am lucky enough and blessed enough to know them. They sent this in to me as a gift, and I am just showing how incredible it is because number one, it will be tested. Number two, if you are someone who collects or uses custom blades handmade in the USA, this thing is gorgeous. So they did, I believe this is burnt orange micarta, white G10 liners, and then orange G10 liners clearly made for me because I love the orange. I really like this, and this is my second Hunter from them. This is the newer one. I have the last one too, but I really like these because they're slim. These are very comfortable, thin knives, not overbuilt, not chunky. I like those too for certain tasks, but this is way more like EDC friendly for me. Love how they changed up the jimping. It actually decreases in size as you go up. Really cool swedge, stonewash finish. Edge that is actually freakishly sharp, like scary to touch. Ridiculous. Sharpening choil, all of the cool things. We've got some nice fancy little angles in here. Everything is just gorgeous on this, guys. And I wanted to show it because, like I said, going to be testing it, but Baby Moon Blades, they're really starting to pump out some sweet stuff. And, you know, custom knives are just a whole different realm compared to production. They just really are. So this is a little honey that just came in. Can't wait to use it. Love it. And then in terms of traditionals, I've only been carrying this one since it got in, the Case Medium Stockman. I've always loved these. This one's got the absolute teeners. I love Stockman models. I've just been obsessed with these ever since I was a kid, so I've been carrying this. It's got the little sheep's foot, Warncliffe, I don't know the difference. And a spay blade. But this has been in the pocket lately. Absolutely love it. Not really much to say about it, just wanted to show it because I love these little guys. They're great little knives. Fit and finish can be pretty crappy sometimes, but it's also like a, you know, $40, $50 knife. But I love the Stockman, love the multiple blades. So that one's been in the pocket. And then I did want to show you guys something kind of cool that I am working on, which is exciting. I am attempting to make, what is this? Is it called a bifold? When it just folds in half? I know there's trifold too, but I think this is called a bifold. I have started making new wallets. So I make the minimalist one, which is like the front pocket. But this is a bifold, and it actually turned out pretty sweet. This was my first go around at it. I do need to burnish the edges. I just finished stitching this like 20 minutes ago. But check this out. It's kind of cool, right? Opens up. So you put your bills in there, right? And then I did this kind of, you know, funky little holder thing. Obviously, this isn't going to hold your cards because they would pop up over. I'm not even in frame. Get it together, Erica. They would pop up over. So this is more for like, I don't know, maybe folded cash, or some people carry like these coins, these like collector's coins that are like this big, and they like putting them in their wallet. So like you could put one down in here and it'll hold it, but you could put, you know, whatever you want in here. And then on this side, that is a card pocket. So this, I measured it out so you can put your debit card, your credit card, your license, you could put all three probably down in here, and it will still fold up because I left all of that extra space, right? So you can still fold this and it will fit in there. Still minimalist in my opinion, because you can only put a couple things in it and your cash. But it was cool to make. Again, hey, don't. We've made it 21 minutes into this. Again, hugely inspired by Ryan over at Failsafe Goods. He's always been like my ultimate inspiration for my leather work. I think he just does incredible stuff. Oh, battery almost died. I think he's on a hiatus still, but I want to give credit where credit is due. He definitely inspired me to make this. There are only so many ways you can make a wallet, or especially a bifold. Like, it's pretty standard because the bills are like 6 inches long. A card is, you know, what, 4 inches long. You can't do much with it. So I still wanted to give him credit, but this is a little different from what he makes. I just wanted to throw that out there, that he inspires me. But yeah, this is my take on a bifold. And I just wanted to show you guys because I thought it turned out pretty cool. Like I said, still gonna burnish it, but smoked vintage tobacco leather on the front. Then we've got a couple different types on the inside, couple different panels. This one is really cool. This is Forza hot waxy pull-up in the olive color. Very cool. But yeah, that's what's going on, guys. That was a long-winded video. The next video that I make is going to be, I think it's going to be kind of interesting. I have some questions to ask you guys. I have a lot of like weird opportunities coming up, and I'm real freaking squirrely about them, and I don't know what to do, and I just need to ask you guys for guidance and assistance and see what you guys think, because I mean, you guys are the reason I do the channel, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know what to do. So I think the next video will be like a little questionnaire for you guys, and see how you feel about a few opportunities that have come up in my life revolving around knife stuff. So be prepared. I love you guys very much. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate all of you. Tell your mom I said hi. Maybe I'll be at her house for the meatball dinner Sunday. But thank you guys for watching. I love you all very much. Let me know down in the comments what you're carrying. Yeah. Go use your shit. Learn to sharpen your knives. I will see you guys on the next video. I love you very, very much. Hope you all have a great weekend. Take care.